Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann and we're delighted to be back here with you again this morning on 7:50 a.m. here in Chicago, and it's NDZ 7:50 a.m. here in Chicago with a live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. From time to time here on the Voice of Charity, we like to feature one of our sensational employees who goes above and beyond every day in service to our clients and in support of the mission of Catholic Charities. In today's Employee Spotlight, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome Sharon Tillmon, Senior Program Director of Community Food and Essentials. Sharon is one of the most accomplished leaders at Catholic Charities, and she is exceptionally successful at holding a very senior position, knowing, understanding, and shaping her workload based on the needs of the clients she meets and the clients she knows each day. Welcome, good morning, and welcome, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Katie. I'm delighted to be here with you this morning.
So thrilled to have you on the show today. Can I ask, how did your tenure with Catholic Charities start? How long ago? And what brought you to become associated with Catholic Charities?
Well, Katie, I have been here at Catholic Charities for 24 years.
It's amazing.
You know, yeah, it's a long time. You know, when I first came, I had no idea that I'd stay this long, but all I did was walk in the door and I got hooked. So I've been here ever since. I was actually just looking at a church bulletin one Sunday and I saw the position being advertised, and I actually just called up and had an interview, and you know, it really changed my life. And so for the first time in my life, I kind of found out what I was supposed to be doing, what I was actually, you know, put here on earth to do. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey for the last 24 years.
And what was that first title that you had, Sharon, and in what service area was that?
You know what, Katie? I have actually been in the same area for the last 24 years.
That's amazing.
I started out as a program, what they were calling at that time, I think, a program assistant for emergency assistance services. And just kind of went from there until I became a supervisor. And I went from there until I became assistant director of the department. And then I went from there until I became the director of the department. At that time, we were emergency assistants. Then we changed over to family stabilization services. And now my most recent role is a senior program director with our new impact area, immediate needs, immediate access, and basic needs.
And look forward to talking a little bit more about that. But I just want to share with everybody that role that Sharon started with is really quite amazing, because you're meeting people oftentimes in very serious situations, crisis moments, and you have to have the calm and stability and kindness and compassion to help them through that crisis so that they understand what the key issues are, right? To start to become more stable in their lives again. Can you maybe elaborate on all those things that you did in that first role, Sharon?
Sure. You know, I came to Catholic Charities from, I had been in child welfare, and I'd been working with kids who were like emotionally disturbed, kids who were wards of the state, and I was mainly working with teenagers. So when I came to Catholic Charities, it was actually, you know, well, let me tell you something. When you're working with teenagers, not a lot surprises you once you come to do anything else, because teenagers can be a force unto themselves. But I believe that, you know, when I came in and using that experience that I had in child welfare, and then coming into people, and I think the difference was, you know, you're dealing with people who every day, when I came in, every day, there's some kind of a crisis. That's why they come to us. There's an emergency or there's some kind of crisis that leaves them in need of their basic human needs. And I think that, you know, one of the things I was reading and trying to figure out for many years in my life, what are my gifts? I don't, you know, for the longest I was like, well, I don't know what I do well. Why am I here? You know, and it helped me to begin to figure out that I'm really here to be an encourager. I'm here to be that person who can show that compassion, to be that person who has the patience to listen and care about each other. And to me, that didn't sound like I wasn't a singer, I wasn't a dancer, I wasn't any of those kind of things. But I know that he's given me a gift of being able to encourage and show his mercy.
And I've been blessed to be with you, Sharon, when you are working with clients. And boy, that comes across in about 5 seconds flat. When I see you speaking with people, they understand your sincerity. They respect your knowledge and experience. And you make a connection with them and help them feel better, literally within seconds of them meeting you. I've seen it myself.
Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you so much. That is encouraging to me because, again, sometimes I'm not so sure about what it is that I've really, what my gifts are. But it's such a feel good, empowering kind of feeling to be able to actually have someone walk in and you see the difference in their demeanor once they've actually come. Because a lot of times people have been so oppressed and so hurt, and hurt people kind of hurt people. So coming in and making them comfortable and saying, look, I'm here for you and I'm interested in you. And then trying to help those folks and seeing the difference when they leave out there's just nothing that replaces it.
And you do it so well. Sharon, I've also heard you talk about the Catholic Charities difference. And I just like to ask about what your first impressions were, when you started working for Catholic Charities. Was that difference that I've heard you talk about, was that, present to you like right from the very beginning?
You know what? I think the main thing that I saw when I walked in the door with Catholic Charities was an opportunity for me to actually walk out my faith. As I told you, I'd been out in child welfare for many years, and not really being able to make that real connection, to be able to, this is the first place that I actually sit down and prayed with folks. This is the first place that I knew when I walked in the door that day that I was there to represent Jesus, that I was there so that folks can see him in me. And that was the thing, I think, that especially at that time in my life coming in, that I was longing for. So Catholic Charities brought that to me because there's a lot of social service agencies out here, and I worked for some of them, but the difference was connecting my faith and being able to actually walk out my faith on a daily basis and not being afraid to, cross those boundaries where I can't pray or I can't talk about God or, those kind of things. So that was what the big difference was for me.
Well, and I think that in many of our programs that we talk about here on this show, that is such a gift that we're able to say, you're not alone in this journey of trying to strengthen your lives. God is with you, and that is a blessing. You're right. It's part of Catholic Charities, and it's part of what we do every day that is so fulfilling for us, but also really helpful to our clients, right?
Absolutely. Because, one of the bigger things that happens is people want to know that they're cared about. People want to know that they're thought about. People want to know that they're important. People want to know that that they matter to someone. And I think a lot of that, in serving food or going to give them clothes or whatever we're doing, I think the most important piece of that is to present that level of dignity and that level of respect and that level of, community to them. And I think that's the biggest piece, actually, that we offer. I know that what we do is essential, but I also, to give the material goods. But that ability to be able to affirm someone is, I think, just, you can't replace it.
So well said, Sharon. And so let's talk about this new position that you recently accepted. It's Senior Program Director of Community Food and Essentials. And our live stream is showing just a sampling of all the food programs that you now supervise. Can you maybe, put that into context of the entire impact area and tell everybody what's included in that position?
Okay. So recently we had service areas. So now we have what we call impact areas. And when I was in family stabilization services, we did a wide array of different programs, some of which are the same ones that I have now, but also including the SNAP job placement. And we did some case management. We did some financial assistance. And so we were doing so many things until, with the new initiative, the new Organized to Thrive that we have, it helped to kind of focus us a little bit better, and especially me and the programs that I have responsibility for. So now, instead of trying to do everything, we are trying, or at least trying to do everything in my program. Now, we still have our same programs, but instead of trying to do all those things, we're more focused on food. We have a more laser kind of focus on food. So now I'm community food and essentials, and that means that we're the food people. You know, we're still the hands and feet of God. We're the food people. But remember now, Jesus did his best work around food. So, you know, he turned water to wine. He fed the 5,000. Even, you know, at the end of his journey, he had the Last Supper. And that's who we are. So right now, we're still running the food pantries. We've got 8 in Cook and 3 in Lake, and we've got senior meals and nutrition now. That's 4 congregate sites. Well, the South Suburban Cook County sites are 4 congregate sites and 5 home delivered meal sites. And then we have the senior meals and nutrition in Lake and McHenry County, 10 congregate sites and 5 home delivered meal sites. We have the community suppers, and you saw some pictures from that earlier. And that's 14 suppers that are around all of Chicago, all of the Catholic Charities regions, not just Chicago, but also Lake County, all of those regions where folks can come in and sit down and have a meal together. And then we also do the basic needs. We do the SNAP outreach. We're still dealing with food because those are the folks who are going to need ongoing help. And we have clothing rooms, and we do what's called City Key, which is an opportunity for folks to get a municipal ID and actually have an opportunity to go and look in, you know, museums and those kind of things that are free for them, and provides a level of ID so that they can get checks cashed, and so they can get rent or get, pay rent and those kinds of things, be eligible for an apartment. So, I mean, we've got quite a bit on our plate, but it's, it's all food centered, and there's just nothing food, food makes that provision for that. It promotes and makes provision for community. Our new CEO talks a lot about community, but, serving food and eating food, then that just, it provides space in our community for all those folks who are maybe lonely, maybe jobless, maybe homeless, maybe, they're seniors who don't have anyone around. They may be just poor. So it kind of brings all that together. That's what food does. When we sit down at the table together, then it brings in that community. And I've seen so much in dealing with our programs and just seeing people's faces and knowing what that means to them.
Well, it is quite a vast number of service sites that you're now supervising, Sharon, but it does make sense. Our CEO, Sally Blount, and her leadership team created these impact areas to consolidate programs under, main headings to streamline services and make everything more efficient. And you are completely up to that challenge of this huge number of service sites providing food throughout Cook and Lake County, Sharon. Can I ask, are you also trying to, within each service site, provide opportunities for anybody who needs to learn about other Catholic Charities programs and services, correct? So you're providing the basic need of food, but then making sure that people know everything else that Catholic Charities might be able to offer them as well, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Food is kind of like, that hook, that bait. And so they come in and they get the food. But anyone, and I say this all the time, anyone who's coming in and asking for food, there are probably other issues that are also present. So one of the first things that we try to do, we honestly try to sit down and ask, first of all, how are you doing? And that sounds simple, but a lot of people who come to us don't think that anybody cares how they're doing. So we kind of start there and say, how are you doing? Kind of take a little information. And then part of that information, we're always asking, what else can I do for you? What else is going on with you? Now, we know some things when someone has no income, we automatically know we need to look at getting this person over and getting some, not just the food for that particular day, but maybe even just sending them over to our SNAP outreach programs so that they can then apply for SNAP, or maybe if they're homeless and they're a senior, and we might need to refer them to our senior housing. We've had people who've come in and they've experienced so much tragedy, and we might have to refer them to counseling. I mean, there's so many, almost every area of Catholic Charities at some point or another, someone has come in and we've had to refer to them. I just got something the other day, and I'm jumping a little bit, but I got something the other day from someone that was talking about how things had just come so full circle for her. And the letter just blessed my heart. She talked about the fact that she lost her husband, and that started her journey with Catholic Charities. So she got some burial help. And then when she was going to the grocery store and she was at Save a Lot, and someone saw her putting things back and they directed her to Catholic Charities. And then once she came to the food pantry, and she then was able to get, I think at the time it was farmers market coupons. And then she was able to start going to the senior meals program. And then she talked about the fact that, just being able to visit our clothing rooms. And I mean, she has taken advantage of so many different programs that we offer. And that's what we want, And she came in to get food, and she learned while she was there that there are so many other ways that we could help her. And she wrote us this long, long letter to try to thank us.
Boy, that's such a beautiful testimonial, Sharon. If you'll please bear with us, we're going to take a break here on The Voice of Charity. And when we return, we're going to continue our conversation with Sharon Tillmon, a longtime wonderful employee of Catholic Charities. You're listening to The Voice of Charity.
Come to the Mercy Mile on the West Loop to cheer on runners in the 2022 Bank of America Chicago Marathon, Sunday, October 9th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mercy Home for Boys and Girls annual Cheer Zone and celebration features games, food trucks, a DJ, a climbing wall, and lots of activities for kids. Conveniently located just west of downtown Chicago, it's the best place to have fun with the whole family while watching 40,000 runners pass by Mercy Home at 1140 West Jackson. And it's free! Join the fun and cheer with Mercy Home on October 9th. Go to mercyhome.org.
I am a seminarian.
The church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
Catholic Charities St. Martin de Porres Society offers meaningful conversation with compelling speakers to discuss the needs of our region, nation, and world, and the power of faith in meeting those needs. On Wednesday, September 28th at 6:30 p.m., Sally Blount and Father James Martin will participate in a special online event, Putting Faith into Action, Becoming Builders of a Better World. To register for this free event, visit athenaeumcenter.org/events. That's ATHENAEUM center.org. You can also email us at partners@catholiccharities.net for more information. Join us as we learn more about the charitable works of the Church and inspire each other to live our faith in new ways.
Welcome back to The Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and it is my great pleasure today to be here with Sharon Tillmon, who is the Senior Program Director of Community Food and Essentials for Catholic Charities, basically supervising all of our food distribution programs throughout Cook and Lake County. And before the break, Sharon, we were talking about, how vast the number of service sites is that you're supervising and trying to not only fight hunger, but also tap people into other Catholic Charities programs and services. Can I ask, would you like to maybe share a little bit about the community food partners that we work with to fight hunger as we do throughout Cook and Lake County?
Oh, wow. We have so many wonderful partners, Katie. I mean, we partner with restaurants who bring in and actually donate food so that we can have sit-down meals. We partner with community centers so that seniors can come together and play games and eat together and commune together. We partner with let's say other pantries even, so that folks are, maybe if we're too far away from them, then they can go to those pantries. We partner with DHS so that we can make sure that our clients get their SNAP benefits. We partner with individuals who donate food and who donate finances and who donate prayers and all of that good stuff. I mean, we are everywhere because we've got like about 49 different sites in Cook and in Lake County, and each one of those, I was just up visiting maybe 3 weeks ago in the Arlington Senior Center, and we partnered with them and actually used part of their space. Now, the beauty of this thing is they not only use that space for congregate meals so the seniors come together, but I mean, it's such a wonderful space. They can play pool and they can play bingo and they can have an exercise room and they have a crafts room and all that kind of stuff. So we can come together with that community center, with that senior center there in Arlington and do wonders for our clients. I have to tell you one more story. I was actually out to Markham one day this week, and that was also a congregate meal. And when I walked in and I was sitting there and this man came in, and it was just so wonderful to see. The man was 92 years old and he was so excited. He was coming for his meal and to play bingo. And he was so excited. He was just he was renewing his driver's license at 92, and he was really excited about it. And as soon as he walks in, here comes a 97-year-old celebrating her birthday there at the community center. And so, I see all these, and that would not happen because we need space to do these meals. And, I got a chance to meet the assistant fire chief and that kind of thing out in Markham that really helped us to keep our programs safe. And so we partner with other parishes to have a lot of our meals. We partner, and also a lot of our pantries are located in parishes as well. So we have partners all over. We could not do it without them.
Those parishes are a key partner that you've mentioned to me, that every food drive that parishes have, every, canned drive drop off, those are all essential, right? Because then that food goes immediately to the food pantry shelves and is needed by people who might not have dinner instead, correct?
Yeah, you can't beat that. There's no administrative cost. There's just bam, you give a can of beans, that can of beans goes right in and right out the door. And, that's the kind of thing that we could not do without folks. And when I said partner, even with individuals, we partner with folks who come in and help volunteer. We don't have a huge staff. And so we're really dependent on people to come in and give their time and serve meals and work in the pantry and help us to, bag. And our pantries are now all choice pantries. So you get a lot of interaction with the folks that come in and helping them to find more nutritious foods and helping them to kind of put their bags of food together and just spending time talking with them. And that becomes really, really important in the work that we do. So again, we couldn't do it without our volunteers. We couldn't do it without our restaurants. We couldn't do it without our community centers. We are really dependent upon each other, and partnering is the way that we get it done.
We are so blessed with so many community partners who want to support the mission of Catholic Charities and work with wonderful people like you and your team. I'd like to share with our audience that if anybody's interested in those volunteer opportunities, they can go to ccofchicagovolunteers.com CatholicChicago.com. And Sharon's team updates opportunities there every week about assisting in our food pantries or maybe serving at a congregate meal. There's many opportunities there. So we invite everybody to look and see if something works with your schedule. We'd be so grateful for your partnership with us at Catholic Charities. Sharon, in the short time we have left, can I ask you just to share what the best things are about your job and what the most challenging things are?
Well, I talked a lot about the best things. It's the people and the serving of the people and being there for folks and, getting to know folks' stories and being able to help people and help people more holistically. Those are the things that, kind of keep me ticking. But I tell you, I know it's a difficult situation, and it can be difficult just to watch people who are, who come in and they are in need, and you see that all day. That piece is difficult. But probably actually the most difficult piece for me is just making sure that we have, what we need to be able to help folks, that we have enough food, that we have enough volunteers. And that's the stuff that kind of keeps me up at night. Because, in a lot of our programs, we have volunteers who even drive to deliver meals. And when volunteers don't come, then, everything kind of gets thrown off. And so that's the thing, just making sure that we have enough food. So we need those donations, and that we have enough volunteers to be able to carry out our jobs. That's really the hardest part for me.
And you're so skilled at anticipating what those needs are, watching the number of clients coming in to a service site each week and anticipating what that's going to be then for the rest of the week. And then, of course, for the challenging winter months ahead. That's why you're so good at what you do, because you anticipate things in a really successful way. In the short time, again, that we have left, I know that you have certain guiding principles or models that you live your life by. And I just feel like you're one of the most inspiring people I know. Would you mind sharing a few of those with our audience today, Sharon?
Well, I think we hear there's a piece in scripture that I think that we hear so much, and we kind of take it for granted. And it talks about what God requires from us or what he wants from us. And that's to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with him. And we sometimes just kind of take that for granted. And how do you really do that? And, so you're thinking in food and how is that justice? But it's justice because everybody has the right to eat. Everybody should not, you can't live out your gifts. You can't be the person that he's purposed you to be when you're in crisis and needing just basic kind of needs that we cover. And walking with him, I think, is the piece for me that really keeps me going and that I model myself by, because I know that we couldn't do this. He's with us and he's there, regardless of what it may look like and regardless of how hard it may be. And I can have the wonderful stories that, I can see somebody come in and then I'm wondering, okay, so where's Mr. Jones? Well, Mr. Jones, great. He has a job. He has an apartment. He has SNAP. He has all these things that he doesn't need to come to us anymore. But even when it's not a successful kind of a situation, or not success yet, what we know is that God is there with us the whole time. He's walking beside us. He's available to us. He's there to help us. And that's that walking, with him and walking humbly with him. But again, that whole scripture just reminds me of it's necessary to connect my faith with my actions, and caring for others is how I show, how I show my faith. Caring for those folks show me how I can walk with God.
What a powerful message for us to take with us today, Sharon. Thank you so much. If anybody listening would like to join and be a community partner or just, inquire about opportunities, career opportunities on your team, what's the best way for them to reach out and speak to someone in the Community Food and Essentials team, Sharon?
I think the best way actually would be to call 312-655-7000, because we have all of these pantries and all of these programs, and that number can connect you directly to them. Now, you can just walk into our pantries. You can walk into a lot of our programs. But if you call that number, that 312-655-7000, then they can connect you to whether it's a pantry or show you how to get into the senior meals programs and so on. Or if you're one of those, tech savvy folk, or you feel good about your internet skills, go to www.CatholicCharities.net. and see what we're doing.
Fantastic. We're so thrilled to have you on the show today. You are such an inspiration to everyone who knows you at Catholic Charities, Sharon. Thank you for being in our employee spotlight and sharing your experience and wisdom with us. And we hope that your very accomplished career at Catholic Charities continues for many years to come.
Oh, absolutely. I hope so too. Not going anywhere anytime soon.
Look forward to seeing you in person again soon, Sharon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we invite all of you back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.